Working within does not always mean going slowly, but rather concentrating your focus on the task at hand. Such is the case with the art of Kendo.
Kendo is a form of Japanese fencing, and it uses a Japanese bamboo sword and obviously armor, and it's a way of training oneself inner and also physically using the method of the sword. The history of Kendo, it originated from the samurai era a long time ago in Japan, and it was a method for the samurais to actually practice their sword skills, but also prepare themselves mentally towards a battle. The physical benefits of Kendo obviously is one thing is hand-eye coordination, physical fitness, and obviously there's a lot of movements you would never do on a regular basis. I think body balance, there's a lot of training of the inner muscle, things like that would be probably beneficial on the physical point.
I know Kendo is renowned for its sort of mental training.
Yes.
What are the mental benefits of participating in Kendo? What would I get out of it sort of from a mind-body sort of thing?
Well, Kendo is mainly mental training. And the whole approach, I believe it's not just Kendo, but I've only done Kendo throughout my life. So from my experience, I believe that Kendo builds up self-confidence, it builds self-control, and it also teaches the practitioner understand respect and being thankful.
Kendo, literally translated, means sword way, and refers to a deliberate path inward for practitioners who focus intently on the mental, physical, and technical aspects of the art. To the uninitiated, it may look intimidating, but beginners start with basic steps under the watchful eye of experienced teachers or senseis who produce some amazing results for their students.
Before Kendo, my impression of my own personality was I was a very shy and awkward person. I had very little self-esteem and very little self-confidence. Since Kendo, I have really started to learn about myself. Just the sport itself has made me more introspective. I can see my flaws and work towards fixing them. Kendo, because it's so unnatural in some of the movements and things like that, by learning and being able to do some of the moves, I've gotten confidence in myself. Kendo's also pushed me out of my safety zone and into doing things that I never thought possible.
What about the physical benefits of participating in Kendo? What have you got physically?
Physically? Well, Kendo's a very demanding sport, so I've learned where I was weak, for example, in cardio, in some of the upper body strength. Kendo requires good shoulder muscles in order to swing a shinai, and it definitely requires a lot of cardio in order to stay, to be able to make it through the shiai, 3-minute shiai. So from Kendo, I have branched out into all sorts of other activities. I do TRX training, I lift weights, I do running, all things I've never even considered prior to Kendo. Overall, I am a much healthier person, and I feel great.
A typical class, first of all, you get introduced to Kendo. Obviously, it's not familiarized throughout North American culture too much yet. First of all, you would get a general explanation of the history of Kendo, and then the etiquette of Kendo, which there's a lot of bowing to show respect to many parts of Kendo, for instance, the dojo or the senseis or your fellow teammates. And then you would go into basic movements from the foot up, and then once you get more involved, you go into bogu, which is the armor, and you start practicing Kendo, physical Kendo with an opponent. It's probably not just Kendo, but anything in general. I believe that at first you have to get used to it. It's something completely out of your field when you try something new. And with something with armor and swords and striking each other is pretty new to a lot of people. First of all, I'd like to say hang in there. It's going to be a lot of new things. There's going to be a lot of overloads within your mind. But throughout the years, you'll slowly start understanding and gaining respect or understanding the respect towards Kendo.